Picture this. A character who doesn't actually exist, right? Totally computer generated. Posting on social media, working with brands, and actually pulling in serious income.
Yeah, like that example we saw. What was it? Over 1,000 euros a month?
Exactly. From an AI influencer. It sounds like sci-fi, but it's happening now.
It really does. And we've been digging into a whole load of sources on this for you. Everything from, the really nitty-gritty tech tutorials.
The how-to stuff.
Yeah, exactly. To like marketing analyses, looking at why this is taking off, and then also the bigger legal and ethical questions too.
Right. So our mission here in this deep dive is basically to sift through all that, pull out the key stuff, and give you a shortcut.
Yeah, get you up to speed on not just what they are, but how they're actually made, why people are doing it, and importantly, the things you really need to think about.
Okay, let's get into it. So starting right at the beginning, what is an AI influencer based on what we found?
Well, at its heart, it's a fictional character, entirely digital.
Not a real person.
Nope. Created using AI, CGI, computer graphics, and they're specifically designed to act like human influencers online. Same look, same kind of post, same engagement.
And some of these have gotten huge, haven't they? Like Lil Miquela, Emma.
And Lou de Magalu.
Yeah.
Apparently massive, millions of followers, maybe the biggest globally.
Wow. So the key difference is just their code, not flesh and blood.
Pretty much.
Wow.
And it feels super cutting edge. But interestingly, the sources point out this idea of virtual idols isn't totally new. It goes back to Japan in the 80s.
Really? Like who?
Characters like Lin Minmay. Though back then, the tech limitations were obvious. You had that uncanny valley problem.
Oh, right, where it looks almost human, but just creepy.
Exactly. Like that attempt in the 90s, Kyoko date.
Yeah.
But today, the tech's getting seriously good at making them look believable.
Which must be why brands and, creators are jumping on this. The sources list some big advantages.
Oh, definitely. Like 24/7 availability. They never get tired, never go off script.
Total consistency, too, right? Their look, their message, always exactly how you design it.
Yeah, and potentially cheaper in the long run compared to managing human talent with all its variables. Plus, you can use data like crazy to shape what they do.
Global reach without needing a plane ticket. Adapting to trends instantly.
And maybe even more brand safety because, their messages are completely controlled. Less risk of a scandal compared to a real person saying the wrong thing.
Okay, so lots of reasons why. But let's talk about the how. If someone listening is thinking, okay, I'm curious, how would I even start? What's step one?
Right. So the sources really emphasize starting with the concept, the personality, before you even think about pixels.
Like, who is this character?
Exactly. Who's your audience? What values do you want this influencer to represent? What's their style, their look and feel? You need to build a detailed persona.
Give them a backstory, interests.
Yeah, all of it. Make them feel, well, not real, but coherent.
Yeah.
Authentic within their digital world, something people can actually connect with. That aligns with whatever your goal is, maybe a brand or just a specific message.
Okay, character first. Then you make the avatar, the visual part. That sounds technical.
It can be. It involves choosing software, designing the look, face, body, clothes, and then animating them, giving them movement, expressions.
Do you need to be like a 3D modeling expert?
It helps.
Yeah.
But the sources mention different platforms, some easier than others. And you could definitely collaborate with graphic artists or animators who, specialize in this stuff.
Got it. So you've got your character concept, you've got an avatar. Now the images. This seems like a big hurdle.
Oh, it is. And this is where those tech tutorials we looked at get really specific. Because the challenge isn't just making one great image.
It's making hundreds, right? All looking like the same person.
Precisely. And standard tools, even amazing ones like Midjourney, they struggle with that consistency. The face tends to change slightly between images, even if you use tricks like the seed number.
Okay, so how do you fix that?
Well, one tool that came up repeatedly was RenderNet AI. It seems designed specifically for this problem.
How does it work?
It has a feature called Face Lock. You give it a good reference picture of the face you want.
Like the one you designed earlier.
Exactly. And it apparently locks onto those facial features, making sure that face appears consistently in all the different images you generate, no matter the pose and the background.
That sounds incredibly useful.
Yeah, and it also has ControlNet. This is pretty cool. You can upload a reference photo showing a pose.
Like someone sitting, someone walking.
Right. And RenderNet will generate your character in that same posture. The tutorial suggested using specific models within RenderNet, like epic realism or realistic vision for that lifelike look.
So the recommended process is Maybe use Midjourney for the perfect initial face.
Yeah, leverage its quality for that one key image. Then take that face over to RenderNet.
And use Face like a ControlNet to generate all the variations you need consistently.
That seems to be the workflow suggested.
Yeah.
And they gave tips on prompting too, like keep the start of your prompt consistent for the character description, then add the specifics like activity and location for each image.
Makes sense. Is it foolproof, though? Does RenderNet get everything right?
Not always. The tutorials did mention that AI generally can still mess up details. Hands are famously tricky.
Ah, the classic AI hand problem.
Yeah. But the fix isn't necessarily complicated. You can use basic photo editing tools for touch-ups.
Like what?
Simple stuff like Canva's Magic Eraser for small errors. Or, for more control, something like Photopea, which is basically a free web version of Photoshop. Or actual Photoshop if you have it.
Okay, so generate, then touch up minor flaws.
Exactly. And then there's apparently a sort of secret sauce, one source mentioned, for really boosting the realism.
Ooh, okay. What's that?
A tool called Magnific AI. It's an AI upscaler, but it doesn't just enlarge the image.
It does more.
Yeah, it apparently reimagines it at a higher resolution, adding fine details. Things like individual hair strands, realistic skin texture, maybe even tiny freckles, making the eyes look more alive. The difference could be pretty dramatic, apparently.
Wow. So that takes it from good AI image to, wait, is that real territory?
Potentially, yeah. But it's not perfect either. It can sometimes add unwanted textures, apparently.
Yeah.
And it runs on credits, so it's a cost factor. You'd need to decide if that extra polish is worth it.
Okay, so the full image pipeline could be RenderNet for consistent generation, quick fixes in Canva or Photopea, then upscale and enhance with Magnific AI.
That seems to be the recommended path for top-tier results, according to these sources.
And beyond just pictures, can you make them more interactive?
Definitely. Sources mention integrating AI chatbots, think ChatGPT or Dialogflow, so they can actually talk to followers in real-time text chats.
Giving them a voice, too.
Yep. Using text-to-speech engines like Amazon Polly or Google's tools. And you can use tag related to facial recognition or motion capture to give them more realistic expressions and movements for videos.
All right, so you've got your polished avatar, your image generation pipeline sorted. Now you need to actually build their influence, right? Manage the whole thing.
Exactly. And that brings us back to strategy. You need that clear target audience and a solid content plan.
What kind of content works?
Well, you need mixed posts, stories, maybe interactive stuff, planning it out on a calendar, and everything has to align with the persona you created. Tools like Canva, again, or maybe in video, can help create or enhance the actual content pieces.
And getting followers, just posting isn't enough, I guess.
Nope. You need to be on the right platforms, post consistently, use good hashtags, and actually engage with people who comment or message.
Both.
Collaborating with others, maybe even paid ads, the usual growth tactics apply.
And you have to track what's working.
Absolutely critical. Likes, comments, shares, follower growth, what people are saying about the influence or the sentiment. And if you're trying to sell things, track conversions, that data tells you what to tweak.
And how do they actually earn money? Is it the same as the human influencers?
Pretty much the same models, yeah. Sponsored posts paid for by brands, longer-term brand collaborations, affiliate marketing, getting a cut when followers buy something through their link, and even direct social selling with shoppable posts or live streams.
Okay, managing all that, generating images, writing captions, posting, engaging, tracking. That sounds like a ton of work, especially if you wanted more than one influencer.
It absolutely is, which is why automation becomes so important. One tutorial focused heavily on this using a no-code tool called make.com, though others exist.
Why automate?
To handle the repetitive, time-consuming tasks automatically. It lets you scale things up, maybe manage several AI personas without grounding in manual work.
So how does make.com help? You build scenarios.
Yeah, they're like automated workflows. The tutorial laid out a pretty clever system. Step 1, you just drop your generated images into a specific folder, maybe on Google Drive.
Okay.
Then, scenario 1 in make.com watches that folder, sees a new image, it grabs it, uploads it automatically to a database. They use Airtable as an example, which is like a super flexible spreadsheet. Then it moves the file out of the way to keep things organized.
Nice. So the images are organized automatically. What next?
Scenario 2. This runs on a schedule. It finds an image in Airtable that needs a caption. It sends the image to an AI vision tool.
Like OpenAI's?
Yeah, something like that. And this AI describes the image in detail. Apparently, it's really good, can spot tiny things like logos.
Wow.
Then it sends that description to a language model, like ChatGPT, which you've already primed with your influencer's personality and tone.
So ChatGPT writes the caption based on the image and the persona.
Exactly. Tailored caption and relevant hashtags all generated automatically.
Okay, that's pretty powerful. Then posting.
Scenario 3 handles that. Also scheduled, it looks for content in the database that has a caption but hasn't been posted yet. Finds one. Boom. Automatically posts it to Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever you've connected. Though you need business accounts for that.
Okay, image handling, captioning, posting. What about engagement?
That's the most advanced part.
Yeah.
Scenario 4. It can check your posts for new comments, compare them against a log so it doesn't reply twice, send the new comment to ChatGPT again using the persona to generate a suitable reply. There are safety filters built in, apparently, to check the reply is appropriate.
That's important.
Very. Then it posts the reply automatically and updates the log. They did warn this one is complex to set up right and has running costs based on usage.
But still, automating descriptions, captions, posting, and basic comment replies, that's huge.
It really is. It takes so much of the day-to-day grind off your plate, freeing you up to think strategically, manage the brand, maybe create more influencers.
Okay, the tech is fascinating. The automation is powerful.
Yeah.
But we have to talk about the other side of this, the legal stuff, the ethics.
Absolutely crucial. And the sources are clear. You can't just ignore this. A huge point is disclosure, being upfront.
Is that just good practice, or is it legally required?
It's often legally required. Sources pointed to rules like India's endorsements know-hows or the Consumer Protection Act there. They say if there's a material connection, like being paid to promote something, it must be disclosed.
And an AI influencer promoting a product definitely counts.
Absolutely. It falls under those rules. And not disclosing can lead to real trouble warnings, fines, even getting banned from endorsements.
What about owning the character itself, the IP?
Good question. Who owns the copyright to the avatar's design? The code. The content they create. It's complex, involves copyright, maybe patents, the overall intellectual property of the character. Really important if you want to use them beyond just social media posts.
And because they have influence, they could mislead people.
Right.
False advertising.
Definitely a risk. If your virtual influencer makes dodgy claims about a product that can harm consumers and normal consumer protection laws still apply, you can't hide behind the fact that they're digital.
Okay, so legal boxes to tick. But then there's the fuzzier ethical side. Authenticity, transparency.
Yeah, big debate there. Should they always clearly state, I am an AI? There's a real concern about deceiving people, especially maybe younger or more vulnerable audiences who might form a connection without realizing it's not a person.
And what about the impact on, actual human influencers?
That's another angle.
Yeah.
These AI influencers are competing for the same brand deals, the same audience attention. Is it fair? Does it displace human jobs? It raises questions about fairness and inclusivity in the creator economy.
But one source threw a curveball, right? Asking if audiences always want or need that total transparency.
Yeah, that was provocative. The argument was maybe for some people, especially younger ones, the realness just isn't the main point. Does it matter if the connection feels genuine?
They compared it to trusting a doctor without knowing every detail of their training.
Or the difference between a human influencer heavily curating their perfect life versus an AI that's obviously curated from the start. Is one inherently more deceptive than the other? It definitely makes you think.
Yeah, it does. Is the value in the biological origin or in the content and the feeling of connection itself, wherever it comes from? So, wrapping this all up, what's the takeaway if you're thinking about this? We've gone through the tech concept, avatar, the crucial image consistency with tools like RenderNet.
Fixing issues, maybe using magnific AI for that extra polish.
And then scaling it all up with some pretty sophisticated automation using tools like make.com.
But we've also seen it's not just tech. There are serious legal hoops to jump through, especially around disclosure, and some really deep ethical questions to wrestle with.
Authenticity, responsibility, the impact on people.
Right. Creating an AI influencer is clearly feasible now. The tech is there, and it offers real advantages: control, consistency, new ways to engage.
But it really forces us to think hard about what real even means online, doesn't it? And what our responsibilities are as creators.
Especially as the AI gets better and better, making these personas more convincing will only get easier. So that responsibility piece, it becomes even more critical.
So maybe the final thought for you to consider is this. If an AI can build that following, create that connection, drive results, does its realness ultimately matter to the audience? Or is it the story, the content, the relationship that truly counts? Something to chew on as this space continues to evolve.